Hey everybody, Ben here from the Bonehead podcast, and I thought I'd put a little video together about the Norba Miniatures Kickstarter. The reason for that is because it is a massive and a really good fantasy wargames Kickstarter. Okay, loads of knights, loads of cool stuff. But hidden inside it are a couple of really good Blood Bowl teams at a ridiculously good price. So they're €25 each for 16 plastic miniatures. So I thought we'd have a quick look at the Kickstarter together so you can see exactly what's going on, because I didn't want you to miss out, because I think this is a really good opportunity to support and grow a company that wants to help us have more fantasy football teams. So more teams is more better, so let's have a quick look at the Kickstarter. So here we've got the Kickstarter itself. So it's Norba Miniatures on Kickstarter. I'll put the link in the video below. Fantasy miniatures, fantasy football, Battle of the Ring, and many more incredible miniatures await you. It's a Spanish company, so some of the text, it hasn't got the best translating, so I thought it'd be good to go through the video for you Blood Bowl guys. So you can watch a video. It's got some of the great digital sculpt of the stuff that's there, but what we'll do before we move on to the Blood Bowl stuff, we'll just have a very quick look at two things. One is the size. So the size of the miniatures are halfway between the Warhammer stuff, so Age of Sigmar stuff, and the Blood Bowl stuff. So Blood Bowl is a little bit of a larger scale. You probably won't even notice it once the guys are based, but they will be ever so slightly smaller than Blood Bowl 2016 miniatures. They will still fit in plenty, and they're bigger than the old second miniature, the old second edition stuff, so don't worry too much about that. But they have got an insane amount of cool fantasy sculpts on here, and I mean it's an insane amount. They've got units and units and units of Warhammer fantasy style cavalry. So if you're a Fantasy Battles Empire or Bretonnian player, you just stay away from the cavalry bit because it will be very dangerous for you. However, we're not here to look at that. We're here to look at the fantasy football itself, and they've got two teams on offer. They're €25 each, which you can see down here, which is £23. Postage will be done later once the Kickstarter is ready to ship, so you will have to add a little bit to that. They're shipping from Europe, so for us in the UK, you might get hit a little bit with some kind of Brexit tax, but hey, we don't know what's going on with that any more than these guys do, so let's not worry too much about that. For the time being, £23 for a Blood Bowl team is cheaper than the Games Workshop one, and that's for 16 guys in each. So here's the Breton team. In this team you get 4 of the knights, you get 4 yeomen, and you get 8 linemen as well. And look at some of the sculpting detail, like you've got a guy drinking wine, you've got a guy with a cup, you've got the knights. I really love the knights. I think the knights I would buy them on their own. I just think the detail is fantastic. So you've got the Breton team for €25, and you've got the Empire team again for €25, and you've got the same kind of split. You've got 4 armored knights. This has got the Warhammer Empire element to it. So you know, the Empire knights, you've got 4 cuirassiers who just look slightly more armored, who will be good for, again, your yeoman if you want to run it as a Bretonnian team. And you've got some crazy fun miniatures details here as well. So when I first saw these, I thought they were awesome. When I saw the price point, I thought they were STL files. They're not. This is plastic. We've seen some of their plastic miniatures before. I ordered some, and the plastic is really good. And when I spoke to Norba, they said, oh no, that's generations behind what we're using now. So the quality of these is going to be brilliant. So I'm guarantee that. So I'm really excited to get my hands on these, which is why I think you can probably see I've already backed it to get both teams. I thought we'd just have a quick close-up so you can see you've got the knights, you've got the big helmets. Griff Oberwald will be happy, and some of the detail there, which we kind of already looked at. You got the Empire team again, which you kind of already looked at. The reason I wanted to have a look at the teams individually is because I had a couple of people, when I shared it on our social media, say, Bretonnians are dead, man. And that may or may not be the case, but if you are a CRP holdout, you got a Bretonnian team. You've got 2 different Bretonnian team miniatures here. Fantastic. If you are ready for Blood Bowl 2020, then you can get your hands on a different and a fully lined up Imperial Nobility team of your liking. So if you're in a group that's going to carry on playing the 2016 CRP rules with the Bretonnian team, or if you're ready for 2020 and you don't fancy all the feathers and stuff of the Imperial Nobility, which loads of people have said, for €23 you're going to get a team with 16 players that will fill out all the positionals apart from the ogre, and you know me, there's plenty of good ogres and big guys out there for you. That is just insanely good value, and that's why I didn't want you guys to miss out on this, because I think it's really cool. They have absolutely destroyed their pledge target at the moment, so we've got some stretch goals to have a look at in a sec. Add-ons. So, patrons who have chosen 2 fantasy football teams will receive the first 4-star players for free. So each of those teams has its own Kickstarter stretch goals that they'll get, and also you get the first 4-star players. Let's have a look at the stretch goals specifically for the fantasy football stuff, because there are different tiers. I've gone for the fantasy football team. You can add 25 for an extra teams. There are other ones for the cavalry and stuff. So you'll see the details of each of these stretch goals does sort of describe which one you are being affected by. So here we go. Here's the first one for us. So Fantasy Football Doctor, free if you pick Bretonnian and Empire Fantasy Football team. So that's the first player you get. So that is a chainsaw player. You can't quite see because of the angle, but he is either your Apothecary miniature or a chainsaw player. Everybody knows we've got Helmut Wolf for every team now. Very useful star. Dwarf King, they've got some cool dwarves as well. I'm pretty excited by this whole Kickstarter. We've got Fantasy Football Lady of the Lake for both the fantasy football teams as well. Star player, wizard, coach, anything. Trying to think if there's could be used for anything. Really like the miniatures. And then we've got some tokens. So the Breton team gets some little coins. Then we've got the Fantasy Football Duke, which is a really cool miniature. Now, that is perfect for the Bretonnian version of Griff if you're running it in 2020. Imperial Nobility takes Griff. There's your star right there. Or, quite frankly, just run it as one of your blitzers. These teams can be used as humans as well. You have to identify what you want your captures to be. But here's an incredibly cool star player. I love the digital sculpting. The quality is really good. You've got some more tokens here. This is pretty sweet. A gyrocopter. I don't think even I could fit that into Blood Bowl somehow, but I'm sure you guys can. Let me know if you've got an idea for that. There's some cool spiders. I'm going to see if I can swing some of these as well for Dungeon Bowl monsters. But here we go. So there's some more Kickstarters coming for Fantasy Football. An Empire General. So that hopefully won't have a bird flying on it like Griff does. So you've got another cool star player there. And as we go on further, more Empire tokens, and come on, where is it? Oh yeah, more Bretonnian tokens, which are actually pretty sweet. The 3D sculpted ones with swords and things, really fancy. And where is it? Where is it? Here we go. This is what I want us to get to. So we're nearly there actually. I can't remember what they're at the moment. 24, I think. 27,000 Fantasy Football Vampire count. Now that's just an outline, so I can't quite see what it's going to be like. That's exciting. Fantasy Football Tsar as well. That's pretty cool too. There's just some stuff left to unlock, and they are going to run out of Kickstarter stretch goals. So that is really exciting. While we're here, we'll talk about the timeline and shipping costs, because that was something else that people mentioned were a bit like, well, how does the shipping work? They're being real upfront with it, which I like. It is confusing, but they are being upfront. They are saying, we will charge you based on the weight of your project, of your payout, of what you've ordered. So for me, in England, where are we? Great Britain. 0 to 500 grams, €8. 500 grams to a kilo, €12. I don't know how much a team is going to weigh. I would imagine that with 2 teams, you're going to sit in that bracket there. €8 on top of that is basically the same as a Games Workshop team for 1. So for 2, you're exactly there. I am really excited for this because they're different teams at about the Games Workshop price point, and it's a new company to the Blood Bowl realm, and I had a little chat with them, and they're talking about doing more teams as well. And if they start producing more fantasy football teams that look good, like these ones do, let's face it, they are slighter than the Blood Bowl stuff, they're less fantasy football than the Blood Bowl stuff, but they are some of the best third-party stuff. I'm really impressed. we can start getting these teams at €25 a pop, we are in for a second golden age of Blood Bowl, because you are going to be able to play any team with all the positionals really, really easily, and that is very dangerous. So as we wrap up, I didn't get a chance to talk about this right at the beginning. We've had a look at the teams now, but this is one of the first things that drew my attention, was the Knights. And I mean, they're your blitzers. They're your blitzers, whether you're going to run these teams as humans or as Imperial Nobility. It was the Bretonnian Knights and these Empire Knights that really got my attention. And I thought, STL files, brilliant. I can sweet talk Blood Type Ben into printing them out for me, to find out that they're plastic. So I'm really excited because I want to support this company. They're talking about doing more fantasy football teams. So really, really, really excited for that. I want them to do well. They've smashed their target already. I've seen the quality of the miniatures. It's really good. I'm really excited. I'm unabashedly excited about it. And we've been having a chat with Norba as well. So if there's a team or anything you think they should do next, let us know. And they've got a lot on their plate, but they're looking to expand and they want to go more into fantasy football. And if we can find a way to support a company that wants to give us Blood Bowl teams with all the positionals for £25, I am, yes, unashamedly supportive of that. Anyway, thanks very much for joining me. Click the link below, let me know what you think, and I will see you again soon.